I'm going to share the screen with you. I hope you can see about motivation, motivating yourself to learn. Okay. So in this chapter, we are going to talk about 4 of the objectives. Number 1, describe yourself as a learner, what you already do well and what skills you would like to develop. So I think this we have already done in the previous chapter as well. That what are your strengths and weaknesses? You should know that where you stand, what you can do, what you cannot do. Okay. And you should know, for example, your strengths and weaknesses, your likes and dislikes. Okay. What you can do, where you stand, how much knowledge you have got, and where you are heading for. So this thing will help you to improve in your study skills. Then number 2 is identify your learning style and your source of motivation. So this is also very important that we should know what is the learning style. Or different people have different learning styles. Some of the people are visual learners. Some of the people are auditory learners. Some of the people are tactile learners. So this is how we should understand that what kind of learner we are. Number 3 that we are going to study here is be able to adapt to learning styles and motivating factors that differ from your own. Meaning we should know that if our teacher's teaching style is different, we should have the flexibility to amend ourselves, to change ourselves, okay? And about flexibility, we have read in the first chapter that in effective and confident students, they are flexible. They are not rigid in their approach. Number 4 is use critical thinking and learning strategies that make studying more efficient and productive. So these things are also very, very important. So this is what we are going to do throughout this chapter. So motivation is the incentive or desire that prompts you to act. For example, a desire for love, companionship, and a family motivates your search for a life partner. A desire for a certain level of income motivates your career choice. Wanting to help others is the incentive for volunteering your services. Why have you come to college? What do you want most out of life? What kind of work would you like to do in the future? Answer these questions and you will find your incentives to study, learn, and succeed. So once you are motivated, it means you are going to accept personal responsibility. A confident student is one, okay, who is personally responsible. So personal responsibility is the quality of a person who takes initiative and accepts the consequences of his or her actions. So not only the confident student is going to take the initiative, but he or she is also ready to accept the consequences of the actions that he or she has taken. To help you get motivated and stay motivated, this chapter explains 4 keys to success in university as illustrated in figure 1.1. So I think you can see the figure as well to some extent. So number 1 is assess your strengths and weaknesses. So again, you should know that what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are your likes, what are your dislikes. Okay, how much of English language, for example, you know, whether you are good at speaking skills, reading skills, writing skills, or what are your problems. So knowing the strengths and weaknesses will help you to decide about your major. Number 2, discover and use your learning style. So you should also know that what kind of learning style you are having, okay, where you feel comfortable and how you are going to adopt or change yourself, okay, for the teaching style that the teacher has adopted. Then adapt to other styles. So you need to be flexible. You need to adapt to change, okay, to the styles of others. Develop critical thinking and learning strategies. So you should develop critical thinking and learning strategies. Is this clear? Do you have any question here?
No, sir.
Sir, please explain this the learning style. How would we know that our learning style is better or not, and how would we copy the other styles?
Yes, just please wait after this, multiple intelligence theory, we are going to talk about the learning style. So I think you should wait a little bit. So then there is Howard Gardner's multiple intelligence theory. Remember previously there were people, they said that intelligence is just one ability, and it was checked by, measured by IQ test. Okay, but it was Howard Gardner, a professor at Harvard University, Graduate School of Education. He says that intelligence is of multiple kinds. So Gardner argues that we have 8 different kinds of intelligence. Everyone possesses these multiple intelligences to some degree, but some people may show greater strength in one or more areas. Gardner also believes that we can encourage the development of our various intelligences and that we can learn to use them to our advantage. Number one is linguistic intelligence. Linguistic intelligence is characterized by skill with words and a sensitivity to their meaning, sounds, and functions. If your linguistic intelligence is high, you probably learn best by reading. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Number two is logical mathematical intelligence. It is characterized by skill with numbers, scientific ability, and formal reasoning. If your logical mathematical intelligence is high, you probably learn best by taking a problem solution approach to learning. Outlining or making charts and graphs may be good study techniques for you. Then bodily kinesthetic intelligence. It enables
Sir,
people.
kindly explain logical mathematical intelligence.
He's saying that if you are good at logical mathematical intelligence, then you would like to take problem solving approach to learning. That there is a problem and logically you will try to reach the solution of that problem. Or you can go for outlining, that every time you will be making outlines of the chapter, of the concepts that you have read. Third, you would like to draw charts and graphs, okay? And these will be the techniques that you will be using if you are having good logical mathematical intelligence. Clear?
Clear.
Then bodily kinesthetic intelligence. It enables people to use their body skillfully and in goal-oriented ways, such as playing a sport or dancing. So dancing is a skill. We people start laughing, which is not good, okay? So if people are good at using their bodily movements, okay, everyone is not a good dancer, remember. So only a few people, those who have got this intelligence and those who work hard to, achieve this intelligence, okay, only they can perform, dances, and they can play different kinds of games. Everybody cannot do this thing. If your bodily intelligence is high, you may be able to learn more effectively by combining study with some physical activity. Is this clear? Then there is musical intelligence. It is characterized by the ability to find meaning in music and other rhythmical sounds and to reproduce them either vocally or with an instrument. So all the people cannot play the guitar, musical instruments. Only a few people, they have got intelligence in it and they work hard, okay, to get this ability. They can perform well, okay, with musical intelligence. If your musical intelligence is high, you may want to choose a career in music or engage in leisure activities that allow you to pursue your musical interests. Although studying to music is a distraction for some, you may find that it aids your concentration. Spatial intelligence is characterized by the ability to perceive the world accurately and to mentally reorganize or reinterpret those perceptions. For example, an artist perceives accurately what a bowl of fruit looks like, the colors and sizes of the fruits and how the fruit is arranged. So only those people, those who have got spatial ability. Spatial means space, related to place. For example, this is a classroom, okay? So only few people know that how to arrange and make best use of space. Some people have got very small room and one bed is required. For example, one table and chair is required so that they can study. So only few people, they have got spatial intelligence. They know how to make use of the best space. Are you getting my point of view? And people, for
Yes, sir.
example,
Completely.
they do, interior designing courses. So they know very well how to design the interior of the room, interior of the house, where that thing should go, where that thing should go. And even sometimes in very small spaces, they make use of the place very well. And some of the people, their spatial, uh, what I should say, intelligence is not good, so they make mistakes. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So if your spatial intelligence is high, you may learn best by finding ways to visualize or restructure the material you want to learn. Interpersonal intelligence is characterized by the ability to read people's moods and intentions and to understand their motives, empathize with them, sympathize with them. They know what the other person is thinking about them. They know their feelings and emotions. They can easily understand these people. So if you are good at this, it means that you can read what is going on inside the mind of the other people. So people who have a high degree of interpersonal intelligence may be said to have good people skills. If your interpersonal intelligence is high, you may learn best by collaborating with others on projects or by participating in a study group. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Then the next kind of intelligence is intrapersonal intelligence. One is interpersonal. Interpersonal, knowing the other people, knowing their feelings and emotions, taking care of their feelings and emotions. And the other is intrapersonal, related to yourself, your self-knowledge, how much you know yourself, your strengths and weaknesses, your likes and dislikes, your feelings and emotions. Intrapersonal intelligence. It is characterized by self-knowledge, the ability to read your own emotions, to understand what motivates you, and to use that understanding to shape your behavior. If your intrapersonal intelligence is high, you should be able to make use of all your other intelligence to find the best study methods that will work for you. And last intelligence that Howard talks about is naturalistic intelligence. It is the ability to perceive the world from an environmental perspective. कुछ लोग होते हैं वो कहते हैं कहाँ पे सब्जा होना चाहिए कहाँ पे नहीं होना चाहिए environment कैसा है how you feel about it okay if it is very cold it is difficult for you to stay there if it is very hot again it is very difficult for you to stay there but some of the people they have no issue with extreme weathers so naturalistic related to nature feeling sensing and relating to your environment through its natural features and rhythms. For example, people living in remote cultures become skilled at coping with nature, navigating without maps, and surviving in a hostile climate. For others, this intelligence may reveal
Sir,
self in curiosity about nature. G.
sir, if one is good in mimicry, this ability comes in which intelligence? Musical intelligence?
To some extent, we can say, but it is bodily kinesthetic because the person is making use of his body. And of course, to some extent, we can say musical as well, but mostly bodily kinesthetic because he is making use of his body. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence is widely accepted among educators, but opinions about the theory's usefulness is differ. Many psychologists and educators Praise Gardner for raising public awareness about the various facets of intellectual ability, but others are concerned about the difficulty of testing for such subjective capacities as most of the Gardner's intelligence describe. Please complete this paragraph, then I'll explain after that. Please. Is this clear? Any question? So we are moving forward. The very first objective was assess your strengths and weaknesses. That
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Gigi, I can hear you.
Okay, sir. As in the passage, it is written that we can determine by the IQ test whether someone is intelligent or not. We have IQ tests for logical, mathematical intelligence and linguistic intelligence, but there is no scale to measure someone's musical intelligence. So, how would we determine that?
Of course, in awareness check that you will be reading, studying later on, okay? These things are explained over there, that what kind of questions you are supposed to ask to find out that whether this person has got musical intelligence or not, or naturalistic intelligence or not. So they are there, they are available on the internet as well. So later on we will talk about them. Right now we have read that multiple intelligence theory given by Gardner, okay? So because previously people thought that only one intelligence exists. So Gardner was the first person who said that multiple intelligences exist. So this question we will be dealing with later on. Now, assess your strengths and weaknesses. So we have already talked about that you should know whether you are good at reading, writing, speaking, maths or not. So you know where you stand. Now, again, it is difficult that your question can come, for example, that how we can assess that whether we are good at, speaking skills, reading skills or not. So there is an awareness check. I am going to read this awareness check and it will tell you where you stand. If you completely and accurately and honestly, okay, answer A, B, and C, you will come to know where you stand. I can read university textbook assignments without difficulty. So you will come to know whether you are good at reading or not. I can distinguish between main idea and details. I can determine an author's purpose. I know how to write a well-organized essay. My sentences are clear in meaning and error-free. I have an extensive vocabulary and good spelling skills. I can add, subtract, multiply, and divide with few or no errors. I can easily understand mathematical concepts. I am computer-wise and internet savvy. Assessment test place my basic skills at university level or beyond. So if you give the answers of these questions, of course, you will come to know where you stand. Are you getting the point now? Is this clear to you? If you do not know what your strengths and weaknesses are in those areas, you may overestimate your skills and take courses for which you are unprepared. Or if you underestimate the value of your experience outside of university, which may make up for some skill deficiency. For example, you may have gained knowledge and abilities from reading, working, traveling. So we learn by traveling, by working with others, by working in group work, by working in pair works, by staying with the people, by sharing knowledge, and our intelligence improves. Isn't it so?
Yes, it is.
Knowing what you can and cannot do and making decisions based on that knowledge will help you make responsible course selections. Clear? So self-assessment
Clear.
is the key to success in the workplace as well as in university. When confronted with any new learning situation, ask yourself questions such as, what do I already know? What skills do I have that I can use? What personal qualities apply? What additional knowledge, skills or qualities do I need? Your answers will provide the self-knowledge you need to make good choices. So we have read in awareness check that what kind of questions you should ask, and these questions will help you to find out that where you stand. Is this clear? Do you have any question? Ask. Should I move forward?
Sir, do jack
Yes,
of all
sir.
trades,
Ji?
like jack of all trades, do they possess all of these intelligences?
All the people have all these intelligences, but some of them are high, some of them are low. Okay, this is what we have talked about. तो जो चीज हाई होती है वो काम इंसान ज्यादा अच्छे तरीके से करता है. होती तो सब में है. आई थिंक यू वुड आल्सो लाइक टू लिसन टू म्यूजिक. I think I should move forward. Discover and use your learning style. Now there was a question somebody asked me about the learning style, and here is the time that we should talk about learning style as well. Learning style is a preferred way of learning, but you can also adapt, change your study methods to take advantage of other learning styles as well. So there are basically three kinds of learning styles, and in these three kinds of learning styles, four things are involved. Number one is visual learner. Visual learner is one who prefers to learn by reading or watching. Visual learner prefers to learn by reading or watching. In reading also you are watching. Auditory learners like to learn by listening. For example, those who are interested in listening to lectures. And tactile kinesthetic learners learn best by hands-on or motor activity, like to do something themselves. अपने हाथ का इस्तेमाल करते हैं, पाँव का इस्तेमाल करते हैं, जुबान का इस्तेमाल करते हैं. So they would like to do something, and in this way they will learn. So these are the three learning styles. ठीक है? And in order to perform these three learning styles, it has many components. Your learning style has many components. We will discuss four of them. इनमें से चार कौन से हैं? वो ये हैं. Your five senses. So whether you are a visual learner, auditory learning or kinesthetic learner, तो आपके जो five senses हैं, जिसमें देखें ना, five senses में क्या हैं? Hearing, smell, taste. Okay, so ये जो five senses हैं, they play a very important role in your. Is your learning style primary visual, auditory or tactile? Visual learner prefer by watching, auditory by listening, tactile by doing or touching or manipulating objects by using their hands. Okay, so learning style preferences affect the way you learn best, the instructional methods you prefer, and some adaptive strategies to try. As you read the chart, remember that it explains preferences, what each type of learner feels most comfortable doing. The most successful learners are those who take control of the learning situation by changing to different modes of instruction and by using a combination of learning methods. तो अच्छा लर्नर वही है जो विजुअल भी हो, एट द सेम टाइम ऑडिटरी भी हो और बाय डूइंग, तीनों को यूज करें. लेकिन अगेन इसमें भी कुछ जो होते हैं उनकी कुछ सेंसेस ज्यादा अच्छा काम कर रहे होते हैं, वो विजुअल ज्यादा होते हैं या ऑडिटरी ज्यादा होते हैं या टेक्टाइल ज्यादा होते हैं. लेकिन अच्छी चीज ये है कि तीनों को आप यूज करें. Although everyone can learn by to adapt to different learning styles, most people have difficulty at first when asked to do that seems unnatural to them. Imagine the frustration of a visual learner whose instructor gives a lecture without any visual aids. अगर कोई विजुअल लर्नर है तो उसके इंस्ट्रक्टर अगर लेक्चर ही देता रहेगा तो उसके लिए मुश्किल हो जाएगा. लेकिन अब उसको अपने आप को चेंज करना है, ग्रुप स्टडी में, पेयर वर्क में, अपने टीचर के मुताबिक, तो फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी होनी चाहिए. ही और शी शुड बी एबल टू अडेप्ट. दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ठीक है. इसी तरह से कोई अगर विजुअल लर्नर है नहीं है, ऑडिटरी है, तो उसको आप प्रेजेंटेशंस दिखाते रहेंगे तो उसके लिए भी मुश्किल होगा. लेकिन अगेन उसको भी अपने आप को चेंज करने की जरूरत है. इज दिस क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
Because instructors'
Yes, sir.
teaching styles and modes differ, you must be flexible enough to adapt to whatever instructional mode is being used. ठीक है, तो इसमें अवेयरनेस चेक फिर उसने दिया है 2.2 में, ये अवेयरनेस चेक आ गया. If your style is visual, so you learn best by reading, observing, looking at diagrams and other graphics, watching a demonstration. If your style is auditory, you learn best by listening to others, explain, instruct, or discuss. If your style is tactile, kinesthetic, doing, you learn best by engaging in hands-on or physical motor activities. ठीक है, तो फिर आपका प्रेफर्ड इंस्ट्रक्शनल मेथड ये होगा कि पावर पॉइंट है, प्रेजेंटेशन है, जबकि जो लिसनर है उसके लिए लेक्चर को सुनना है, क्लासरूम डिस्कशन है, जबकि जो हैंड्स ऑन डूइंग करेगा तो वो मैनिपुलेट थिंग्स को करेगा, मूव अराउंड करेगा, कंप्यूटर एडेड इंस्ट्रक्शंस के ऊपर जाएगा. तो इस तरह से आप अपने आप को सोच समझ के देख सकते हैं कि आपका लर्निंग स्टाइल क्या है, आप क्या कर सकते हैं, आपको क्या करना चाहिए. इज दिस क्लियर?
Yes, it is.
Yes, sir.
चलें इन
Yes,
चीज़ों को
sir.
रिवाइज करें. वी आर गोइंग टू हैव